Chapter 284. Prohibited from going out. Boom. Instantly, the old man was like a kite with broken strings, being shaken out by the powerful force. One of the four old men who rushed up behind him hurriedly caught the old man's body and ran his energy to check it out. And immediately his face changed. Yuanying dissipated. Internal organs crumbled. What a ruthless heart, this old man said with a gloomy face. The other three old men also stared at Xiaojin far away with ugly faces. Who are you? Being an enemy of my Li family won't end well. You'd better hurry up and bind your own hands and feet. Or else, I'll make your life worse than death later. One of the old men drank grimly. All four old men erupted with powerful auras. Surprisingly, they were all Yuanying stage powerhouses. One of them was still at the 7th level of the Yuanying stage. HMPH. Monkey Master is too lazy to talk nonsense with dead people. Xiaojin coldly snorted. His body ****** came out, like a bolt of lightning, quickly rushing towards these four old men. Since Kangchon had already said not to leave a single one behind, then he naturally didn't need to talk nonsense with these people who were going to die. District ordinary for Yuanying stage cultivators. Xiaojin now, even if self-bound arms and legs can destroy them. The two sides is not a level. As early as in the Jidan stage, Xiaojin has already had the strength to cross the stage to kill Yuanying stage powerhouses, not to mention the present. As soon as these four old men came into contact with Xiaojin, they immediately knew why that peer had just been killed in seconds. They were not a single enemy of Xiaojin at all. Quickly go. This person's strength far exceeds his cultivation. Quickly go back and inform. Without finishing his sentence, an old man was struck by Xiaojin's fist, and his entire body instantly collapsed, blood and flesh flying and spilling down, making a scene of sure hell in front of the heavy Iron King's royal mansion. What's happening? Quickly look, the 5 elders of the Li family are fighting with someone. Who is that teenager? Surprisingly, he knocked out a Yuanying stage powerhouse with one punch. Although the front of the royal mansion had been deserted for a long time because of the Li family's blockade, the cultivators on the streets in the distance were instantly attracted over one by one when they heard the sounds of the battle over here. When they saw Xiaojin blow up a Li family elder with a single punch, everyone was stunned and filled with disbelief. This was definitely the most shocking scene they had ever seen. Xiaojin was simply to berserk. Those 4 elders were not only killed by him, but he also blew them up one by one. The bloody scene was terrifying to watch. Heavens, I'm not blinking, am I right? The 5 elders of the Li family were killed just like that. A watching cultivator was shocked. This teenager is too strong. Could it be that some out-of-body stage elder has changed his appearance? An older cultivator mused. It seems to be related to the heavy Iron King. I have a feeling that the Li family is in big trouble this time. A cultivator who clearly looked at the Li family with displeasure gloated and laughed. See, we'll find out soon. The Li family won't let the 5 elders be killed and not care. The imperial capital is going to be sensationalist this time. Everyone was filled with anticipation. Within the royal mansion, Kangchon's divine thoughts went out of his body and instantly sensed 3 figures dashing towards the gate. Master Wind Edge and the Jin family head are also there. A smile instantly appeared in Kangchon's eyes. He knew that with these 2 people around, his grandfather wouldn't have had such a hard time all these years. What's going on? I feel the fluctuations of a Yuanying stage powerhouse fighting. Wang Tixiong flew at breakneck speed, his brows furrowed. It's those 5 old guys from the Li family. Who are they fighting? The Jin family head also frowned. Right behind them was Master Wind Edge, who was a little slower, but since the Wang mansion wasn't very big either, he didn't fall very far behind. The moment Xiaojin struck out to kill those 5 Li family elders, the intense battle fluctuations could no longer be concealed, and the 3 Wang Tixiong, who were within the Wang mansion, instantly rose up in alarm and ran towards the door. That silhouette. Suddenly, the eyes of the Jin family head narrowed as he saw a purple figure stepping not far in front of him. Chona. Without waiting for the Jin family head to see that person's face clearly, next to him, Wang Tixiong had already exclaimed out in shock, and then increased his speed, his face full of excitement as he greeted that purple figure. Needless to say, that was Kang Chan, Grandpa. Looking at the Wang Tixiong, Kang Chan also revealed an excited smile. More than 10 years. His heart is the most reluctant to let go of this grandfather, because this is his only remaining relatives. It's Kang Tian, the Jin family head and Wind Edge master, who followed behind. Also saw Kang Chan's face clearly at this moment, and the two of them were instantly surprised. After 10 years, Kang Chan had once again set foot in the imperial capital. The Jin family head and Wind Edge grandmaster sighed in their hearts. This time I'm afraid that the imperial capital is going to stir up a bloody storm. With the Li family targeting Wang Tixiong so much, it's impossible for Kang Chan to take revenge. Chona, you're finally back. Wang Tixiong hands to help up Kang Chan, who gave him a kneeling salute. In his eyes could not help but all tears. No matter what the grievance is, seeing this hand brought up grandchildren, he already did not care about anything. Grandpa, let you suffer. Don't worry, with my grandson here, no one will dare to bully you anymore. Kang Chan also looked very excited. He sized up the grandpa in front of him. Because of the breakthrough to the Yuanying stage, Grandpa looked much younger than before. Listening to Kang Chan's words, Wang Tixiong's heart was very touched. He had a pleased smile on his face. Where was the stifled anger and rage from before? Kang Chan. At this time, the Jin family head and Master Wind Edge came forward and greeted Kang Chan. Greetings Uncle Jin, Master Wind Edge. Kang Chan hurriedly bowed respectfully. He knew that, if it wasn't for their care over the years, I'm afraid that Grandpa would have had an even more difficult time. Thus he was very grateful in his heart. Finally you are expected here, right? Why didn't Junior come back this time? The Jin family head asked with a smile. He was still more concerned about Jin San Xiao. Third youngest, they went to the Orthodox Demon battlefield. It is estimated that it will take a long time to come back. But don't worry, I have already inquired about them. They are very safe in the Orthodox Demon battlefield. Kang Tian said. How can the Orthodox Demon battlefield be safe? Don't comfort me. The old man also knows that a fledgling eagle always has to go through storms. Alas, forget it. Let's not talk about that brat. What are you going to do this time? I heard that Li family's Li Chunjiao performed exceptionally well during the Heavenly Tao Sect's disciple acceptance ceremony, and is highly valued by the Heavenly Tao Sect's higher-ups. So you mustn't be impulsive. The Jin family head let out a sigh, and then asked gruffly. He knew that Kang Chan must be incomparably angry right now. It would be bad if he was overwhelmed by anger. Wang Tixiong, who was on the side, also said in a deep voice at this time, Chona, it's not too late for a gentleman to take revenge. It's not too late in 10 years. It's nothing for Grandpa to be aggrieved. So don't be impulsive. Compared to his grievance, he was more concerned about Kang Chan's future. Grandpa, Kang Chan sniffed and was about to speak, but was interrupted by Xiao Jin, who rushed in. Brother, those 5 old guys have already been slaughtered by me. Are we going to hit the Li family now? Little Jin ran in, his face full of excitement as he said, his body still surging with battle intent. What? The 5 elders of the Li family were killed by you? The 3 of them, Wang Tixiong, the Jin family head, and Master Feng Yuan, were filled with shock when they heard this. Kang Tian, on the other hand, introduced them. Grandpa, this is Little Jin. You still remember, right? He has already transformed into a form. Little Jin smiled at Wang Tixiong's trio. Little Jin. Wang Tixiong trio couldn't help but look at each other with an unbelievable look in their eyes. I didn't expect that little monkey back then to have cultivated to the transformation stage. The head of the Jin family, a mastermind edge-side with a face. Kang Tian had lived in the Jin family for some time, so they naturally recognized little gold as well. So it's you, little monkey. I didn't realize that your cultivation now exceeds that of old me. Wang Tixiong also laughed. He was even more familiar with little Jin. Back then, they had even fought side by side together. All right, Grandpa, we'll catch up later. Kang Tian faintly smiled. Then the cold light ***** in his eyes, full of murderous anger, said, "A mere 5 elders. How can I calm the anger in my heart? It is time for them to pay the price of the Li family." Li House, as one of the 4 strongest families in the Great Tang Kingdom. The Li mansion's grandeur far exceeded that of some royal palaces, especially after the 2 geniuses, Li Yuanba and Li Chunjiao, worshipped the heavenly Dao sect. The Li family's might had already surpassed that of the Jin family and the Sun family, and had become the strongest family, following the Zhao family. The current Li family, even the lord of the Great Tang Kingdom, would have to not dare to underestimate it, or else they wouldn't have let the Li family put Wang Tixiong under house arrest. In the Li family, there was a soul room that was so important that it was guarded every moment, because it was filled with the soul jade slips of the strongest members of the Li family, including the soul jade slips of Li Yuanba and Li Chunjiao. In fact, not only the Li family, as long as there were families with a certain level of strength, or even sex, they would all build such a place, because only in this way could they be the first to know the messages of life and death of the experts in their families and sects. In this cultivation world, which is full of crisis everywhere, as long as you are a cultivator, you may fall on the road of cultivation at any time, and your friends and relatives. Then they can learn the message of your life and death through the soul jade slip. For a family like the Li family, which was at the top of the Great Tang Kingdom, their soul chambers were usually only routinely checked by their subordinates, who didn't think that anyone would dare to kill a strong member of the Li family. As a matter of fact, it had been hundreds of years since a strong person from the Li family had accidentally fallen. However, today, within the Li family's soul chamber, -1 soul jade slips suddenly burst into pieces, and they were also at the Yuanying stage level, which shocked the Li family descendants who were guarding the place. Aren't these 5 elders guarding the Heavy Iron King's royal residence? Who can kill the 5 of them in this imperial capital? Who dares to kill the 5 of them? A Li clan disciple who was guarding this place stared at the 5 shattered soul jade slips with a face full of incredulity, his heart turning over. Another person on the side was also stunned at this moment, too shocked to speak. Hurry up and inform the family. Something big has happened. The 2 guarding Li family disciples were shocked for a moment and immediately knew that the matter was serious, and hurriedly rushed out of the soul room, with a roll, rushing to report to the Li family's head of the family. What? The 5 elders are dead? How is this possible? Do you guys know what will happen if you lie about the information? In the middle of the hall, the Li family head, who was originally discussing things with Li Yuanba, suddenly exclaimed in shock when he heard this news, and then shouted sternly at the 2 Li family children who had reported the news. This is impossible. Li Yuanba, who was at the side, was stunned before he also shook his head hurriedly. He did not believe this news. In this imperial capital, who would dare to kill the 5 elders of their Li family? Even if the Zhao family was stronger than them, they wouldn't dare to do so easily. Family head, this is true. This is the shattered jade slips of the 5 elders. Seeing that both the Li family head and Li Yuanba didn't believe it, those 2 Li family children who were guarding the soul chamber hurriedly took out the shattered 5 pieces of soul jade slips. When the Li family head and Li Yuanba saw the 5 shattered pieces of soul jade slips, their eyes widened in disbelief. However, with the facts in front of them, there was no room for disbelief. Boom! Li Yuanba smashed the table next to him with a slap. His face was gloomy, and a chilling killing aura spat out from his mouth. Good guts. Daring to kill someone from my Li family in the imperial capital. I, Li Yuanba, would like to see who has the guts to do so.